My journey as a class clown began in second grade. I was in my class and there was this girl, her name was Sally, and she was right in front of me. And she turned around and I made a face and she laughed and I felt pretty good. And then I patiently waited for her to turn around again and I just, made another face and she just busted out laughing. And my career was launched. And I felt really, really good. And I hate to say this, but I was in second grade, 7 years old, and I was on drugs. And the drug was making people laugh and making people smile, and it turned out to be highly addictive. And I wanted more. So that day, Sally and I, we spent the day in the principal's office. It was Principal Bacano. Principal Bacano was this tall man, wore a suit, very serious, and he ran a very tight ship. You could not laugh, ever. Education was serious. And in my mind, he was the laugh police. And I remember that I didn't want to get caught by the laugh police, but on the other hand, I just wanted to make people laugh. So obviously I devised ways to not get caught. One day I brought a paper airplane into class, and what I did not do is throw the airplane because everybody would laugh, but they would know it's me, and I would spend the day in laugh jail. So I devised a way. I sat next to the side of the room, side of the classroom, next to an open window, and I had a paper airplane that I secretly brought with me. And then what I would do is that I would throw the paper airplane towards the class to make it look like it came from outside the class, right? So it was like, and the entire class just stopped and ran to the open window to look to see who threw the paper airplane in and everything. And then the next day, I told everybody in the bus about what I did, and they just all laughed, and they loved me. And it was great. I remember that. And I remember like 2 or 3 days after that, Principal Bacano out in the courtyard trying to find this fictitious person who was like throwing paper airplanes in windows and everything. I was at the top of my game. Life was good. Everything was just perfect. And then I hit junior high school. Junior high school was a new school. It was a big school. And there was a new principal, new teachers. But I thought, well, bigger crowd, I could win them over, no sweat. But I found out that wasn't true. And it wasn't for lack of trying. I brought one day a whoopee cushion to class. Now, for those that don't know what a whoopee cushion is, it's a device, it's inflatable, and when you sit on it, it gives a fart sound. So I didn't just sit on it because you get caught, right? So I waited patiently for the teacher to bend over to look for something, and then I would activate it, right? And I did it, and I thought that I was perfect. It was really good, but the principal the teacher didn't get mad at all. In fact, he stopped for a second. He just kind of rolled his eyes, and he just moved ahead with the lesson. And the worst thing is that none of the students laughed at all. It was just like sound of silence. And it was tough. I remember one day I'm in this junior high school cafeteria, and I'm walking down the aisle to my table, and I hear two students talking. I don't know whether they were talking to me, but they said, "He's so immature." And I'm shaking, and I'm walking all the way to the end table, and the table where Pete and Richard sat every day. Pete was this guy that was, he had black framed glasses, and he read all the Star Trek books, and he like memorized, the Klingon language and Vulcan language and everything. And then there was Richard, and Richard was this 13-year-old whose legs were way too tall for his body at that age, and he had polyester pants that were really short and a yellow shirt and everything. But they were my friends, and they laughed at me. They laughed at all my jokes. I mean, even the stupid ones. Like I would hold a can of Pepsi up, and every day it was a little song, a little dance, a little seltzer down your pants, and drink it, and they loved it. And that felt good, but I just missed the days when I had the crowd. And I remember coming home, and I was in my bedroom, and I was looking at the mirror, looking at a reflection of what used to be the class clown, and it was like the sad clown. The sad clown. And then I'm there, and my sister knocks on my door and says, there's a play that's being put on in the high school, and a few of my friends are in it. I wanted to know if you wanted to see it. And I have never seen a theater production ever in my life. It wasn't part of my world at all. She said that the name of the play was You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, the musical. And I sort of like Peanuts, and I like Charlie Brown, so I said, sure, I'll come to see it. So I go there, and I'm like all the way back in the balcony, like the back row, watching, and the lights go down, and the curtain comes up, and then the character that plays Charlie Brown, he walks on stage, and he looks around, and he sighs, and he says, "Good grief." And the audience just goes bananas. And I'm in the back row, and it's like my eyes get really wide, and my spine is on fire, and I'm excited. And then later on in the play, all the characters go on stage. You have Linus, and you have Lucy and Schroeder, and they all gather around Charlie Brown, and they sing the song, "You're a good man, Charlie Brown. You're a prince, and a prince could be king." And I'm back there, I go, yes! My sister turns around and goes, and I'm going, yes! I could be king. King of comedy, there, on the stage. I could be a class clown on the stage. It took many, many years for me to hone my craft, including working in the corporate and business world for 30-some years, where there's like no whoopee cushions allowed. But I made it to the stage. And to Richard and Peter, I don't know where they are. I grew up before the internet. I don't know their last names. So I can't find them. But I'm hoping, I'm praying that one day they'll find me, because I miss them. I miss their smiles. And to Sally from second grade, Sally who started it all, my partner in crime, please come to see me. Because this stage and this audience and this venue is strictly beyond the jurisdiction of the Laugh Police. Thank you.